We've got a call from an ambulance worker who wants to talk to me. That's Tia in Sunderland. Hello, Tia.
Hiya.
You're angry with me.
This morning.
I'm okay. How are you?
This morning.
Yeah, I'm
totally fine. Yeah, not too happy about what you've been saying, but
I know. That's what I understand. So, what would you like to say? In what way would you like to put me straight?
Basically, what you're saying is not true. There is going to be cover for all ambulance staff. Crews will be covered. They're allowed a set amount of time to strike. So they'll maybe allocate an hour, and they have to respond to every emergency call. So if they get an emergency call while they are striking, they have to respond.
Well, as I understand it, Tia, the deal is this, and this is where I think the problem is, that ambulance drivers have said that their strike will not affect life-threatening situations. So if somebody's life is at risk, they will obviously rush to assist them. How will you know? How will you know whether or not someone's life is at risk?
Which category it falls into.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily, that doesn't dictate whether or not someone survives, does it? The problem is if you're picking and choosing, you might get it wrong.
Excuse me. Speak for someone that has experience, thanks. When the call goes through to control, when you ring 999, it gets categorised, whether people are on strike or not. Mm-hmm. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it falls into a category 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's right, does it? We want you to go to all of them, Tia. We want you to go to all of them in case some of them are life or death cases. Right, you don't know whether or not somebody on a telephone categorise it. Doesn't matter, does it?
If somebody falls over and scrapes their knee, that is life-threatening, is it?
Well, you don't know. Might be.
Is it? Come on now.
If an elderly person falls and breaks...
I thought you had common sense.
Yeah, okay, listen, okay.
It all depends on age as well.
Elderly person breaks a hip in their garden, it's counted as category 3. Why are elderly people waiting 14 hours at the moment?
That's nothing to do on the topic that I'm speaking of. I'm sorry, I can't speak on that.
So you don't know why people are waiting 14 hours?
I'm not ringing to speak about waiting times. I'm ringing to speak about...
I admire your confidence in the category system.
How you think it's acceptable to take people's rights away, because those are the words... Your strike is going to cost lives. Those are the words that have just come out of your mouth.
Tia, your strike is going to cost lives. It's as simple as that.
Right. But the government's lockdown...
I say that's okay, is it?
Did you go on the radio?
No, that doesn't really matter. The reason doesn't matter. Your strike is going to cost lives. It's going to cost lives. People will die as a direct result of your strike.
No, it won't.
It will.
Every ambulance crew will be covered.
Yeah, right. And do you think people trust this? People will die because of your strike. Everybody knows that. You are sacrificing lives on the altar of your industrial action. I'm not against your industrial action. I'm not against your seeking a pay rise. I am not. I'm against you putting lives at risk.
You literally just said before I rang that Rishi Sunak is looking at taking frontline staff right to strike away, and you agree with that?
Good. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I don't want people to die because of industrial action. Is that an unreasonable viewpoint?
Do you think it's acceptable to take a human being's right away from them?
No, I don't. And that's why I don't want you to go on strike.
You just said. You're contradicting yourself now. What's your name? You're that irrelevant. I don't even know your name. What's your name?
Hello?
Are you gone now?
No, I'm here.
What's your name?
I'm not telling you.
You
rang in. You know what my name is.
I was listening to the radio, and I was disgusted by your attitude.
Yeah, I know you said that. Well, I'm disgusted that your industrial action is going to kill people.
This is the radio of truth. This is the radio of truth, apparently.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, this is the radio of truth, apparently.
You're just shouting. Your industrial... If we're going to go around the houses, I'm going to end this conversation. I'm having a right day today, ending conversations. Your industrial action, Tia, is going to cost lives, and that worries me. If the equation is that lives are sacrificed on the altar of your strike, that is unacceptable, and that's why I think if Rishi Sunak does ban you from going on strike, it would be a good idea, because I don't want to see anyone die because of a strike.
I don't think somebody like you should be allowed to speak on a radio station like this.
Yeah, well, I don't think somebody like you should be allowed to speak on my show anymore. Bye, Tia. Now, before we get to any of that, we need to talk about the strikes. We have all sorts of strikes coming up, a plethora of December strikes, ruining Christmas. A winter of discontent lies ahead, especially due to the train strikes, the rail strikes by the RMT union, which have announced a series of dates throughout the festive period. To wit, let's talk to former RMT Senior Assistant General Secretary Steve Headley. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Kevin.
Do you think that the public supports your strike?
Well, I think obviously there have been opinion polls which have shown massive public support, not just for us, but for all the other workers that are on strike. And I think it's quite clear that everyone's in the same boat. We've got public sector pay has been suppressed for 10 years. People literally can't afford to live on the money that they're being paid in a lot of cases. That's why you've got 100,000 vacancies in the NHS. And I think people are very sympathetic, and it's inconvenient. People don't like going on strike. They'd rather go to work. But they've reached a position where they really have to take action in order to secure their own living standards.
Well, so the RMT union members will walk out on the 13th and the 14th of December and the 16th and the 17th next week. That'll be bad enough, but I think that when it will really hit hard will be over the festive period when RMT members will strike from Christmas Eve until the 27th of December, and then again on the 3rd and 4th of January and the 6th and 7th of January. Look, Steve, I believe in the right to strike, and I believe every worker has the right to pursue better conditions, better pay. That's sacred in a free democracy. But did you have to hit the British public at this very special time when they want to go home and visit their families, see each other at Christmas? Why have you picked on the British public?
Well, Kevin, the clue is in when you introduced me. I'm the ex-Assistant General Secretary, not the current one. So it's the RMT and the leadership of the RMT to pick these dates, okay? So do
you not agree with those dates?
Well, look.
Would you have been a bit more conciliatory? My point, Steve, would be...
No, I wouldn't have been more conciliatory. I would have actually upped the ante a lot sooner.
Oh.
But the reality is this: they pick those dates because they're dates that they exert the maximum of pressure on the government. And can I just say, look, I think, and I've said this many times, I think this is a bit of a Christmas pantomime. The government know that a deal has been accepted in Scotland, and I think it's a terrible deal. I think it's a ridiculous deal. It's only half the price of inflation at the minute. It's 5% plus a £750 bonus, and that has been accepted in Scotland. And the government know that if they want to bring that deal down to England, there's a chance it'll be accepted there by a very weak RMT leadership. So I think that the idea that people are going to settle for 4% this year and 5% this year and 4% next year, or 4% and 4% on the train operating companies, no one really thinks that's going to fly. So the government, I think, are trying, and they might well try to pull a rabbit from the hat and offer the ScotRail deal. But the ball is in their court because they know that's been accepted in Scotland. Although I think it's a bad deal, I think that they're going to offer that in England.
But do you really think, Steve, that to go back to the beginning of our conversation when you said that the public were right behind these strikes? I mean, let me tell you, people who can't get home to see their families at Christmas, people who can't travel over the festive period, can't travel over the New Year, they're not going to support you. Even if they do now, their support for you will completely drain away the moment they can't get on the train during the festive period. This will kill the RMT's alleged popularity.
Well, that might be the case. They might lose public support, but at the end of the day, public support, everybody loved the nurses, everyone supported the nurses, people went out and clapped for the NHS. Didn't get them a penny, did it, of a pay rise? It didn't up their pay rise by anything. So public support, while it's important, isn't the be-all and end-all. Industrial strength is the be-all and end-all. And I just wish that we could go on strike for the nurses, well, the RMT could go on strike for the nurses as well. And, you know, so the nurses wouldn't have to go on.
They're going on strike for themselves. You don't have to worry about
that's very, very true. But I wish we could go on strike for them, because I do accept that it's, you know, 110 years the nurses.
Okay, let me ask you this, Steve.
Have been on strike?
Yeah, fair enough. Let me ask you this, as a trade unionist. Does it worry you that we're not talking about the rail strikes now, because for all their problems in terms of causing problems for people, they're not going to kill anyone. The problem with nurses' strikes and ambulance drivers' strikes, and what I'm asking you as a union representative, union leader, does it worry you that lives will be lost on the altar of this industrial action? Because when the ambulance drivers go on strike and the nurses go on strike, make no mistake, people will die as a direct result. Is that not going too far when it comes to striking?
Well, first of all, I mean, that's completely untrue.
That is true, Steve. People will die.
You've asked me a question. Let me answer your question. First of all, right, there's going to be emergency cover in place.
Well, the nurses have said there won't be.
No, they haven't.
They did. They have said they cannot guarantee emergency cover.
That's not
you can't
true.
Make this stuff up, Steve.
There's going to be a skeleton staff law, and not all the nurses are going to go on strike. And by the way, people are dying every day because of lack of...
Oh, well, that's all right then, isn't it? So what will it matter if a few more people die?
Here we go.
People are going to die, Steve.
People are dying anyway because of lack of investment in the NHS.
Yes, but people will die because of these strikes.
People are dying because there's...
What do you think about the fact that people will die because of these strikes? Answer the question.
You should stop ranting and give me a chance.
You're the one who's just droning on. I'm trying to ask you a question.
Look at you, ridiculous little man. Let me speak. Let me speak, or I won't come on your programme anymore.
Oh,
okay?
Please. Oh, that would really kill me. Oh, no.
You're like a 5-year-old child having a tantrum, okay? The reality is that the NHS is in such a state, the government have underinvested, not put money in.
So it's okay that people die?
And people are dying every day.
Oh, come on.
Lack of investment in the NHS.
Come on.
You're just an absolute hypocrite.
That's enough. If you're not going to answer this question seriously, let's get rid of him. Bye. Let's go to Oxford and talk to Malcolm. Hello, Malcolm.
Good morning, Kevin. I've rung in to congratulate you on how you dealt with those two idiots that you were speaking to.
You mean Steve Headley from the RMT, or former RMT, and Tia, the ambulance driver?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point, isn't it, Malcolm? I'm just pointing out that whatever way you work this out, these strikes by frontline medical workers, nurses and ambulance drivers, potentially 999 operators as well, people will die because of these strikes. You cannot avoid that, and yet these two people tried to.
Of course people are going to die. We're going to have one of the coldest winters over the next 10 days, and people are going to be suffering and going to die. I can remember back in a couple of years ago when the people were clapping the NHS workers and nurses and that, they got 10% off their food bill, and some supermarkets even more.
Yeah.
Captain Tom was out there raising money, 10 plus million. Mm-hmm. The health workers got a special hour. Nobody else could go in that shop. It was only for health workers, and they're treating the public like this. It's an absolute disgrace. My wife earns £22,500 as a funeral arranger, fully trained. Now, if they went on strike, we'd have a real problem in this country, and I think these people should stop and think what they're doing to this country. It's a left-wing
Well, it's a general strike. It's a coordinated general strike, if you ask me. Now, what do you think about this, Malcolm? Rishi Sunak, a little late in the day, is proposing that possibly he might ban frontline medical workers from going on strike, like ambulance drivers and nurses, for the reason that you and I are discussing, that we cannot sacrifice lives on the altar of industrial action. The enormity of that seems to be passing people by. When you ask left-wing people backing the strikers, don't you worry that these strikes will kill people? They say, oh, well, it's the government's fault, they've got to give them a better pay deal. No. Don't you worry that these strikes will kill people? That's the question.
The problem is the way the NHS is run. It's not run by the government, it's run by the NHS managers, and they need to get off their backsides, have a look at where they're spending the money, and start thinking we need to put X percent of what we've got into frontline staff. And people will die, and I'm telling you now, Kevin, if anybody in my family circle dies because of these people going on a strike, I will take action.
Well,
I fight them through the world.
A lot of people will sympathise with your anger. I agree with you, and it's nice to talk to you, Malcolm, because Steve Headley called me a ridiculous little man, and Tia called me disgusting. So it's nice to talk to someone who's on my side. Great call. Thank you very much.
Debbie is in Hampshire. Good morning.
Hi, Petra. Nice to speak to you again.
Lovely to talk to you. What do you think about this? Support the strikes?
Oh.
No.
To be honest, we have 2 stations of crew, and we all work together very hard. We work nights, 12 shifts, maybe more, but that's fine. And we are called scabs at the moment because, what can I say? Oh, I've got Meg in the background, if you remember her from before. We will not go on strike because... Why? No. What can I say? It's a cancer unit. No way can you do that. No. We have got to know our people, and...
So you wouldn't be able to walk out? You wouldn't have been able to...
But no, we are not walking out, no. And we have been scabs, but to be honest with you, Petra, no. We are not walking out.
And you're being called scabs for this?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we are. And to me, it's just a word. And like the others, I mean, Megan, Matt, Trespin, well, you know, whatever, the friends that we have here, the work here. No, who cares? It's his name. But we will not walk out because, no.
That's amazing.
We done 9 years course. I done a foundation course years ago for 2 years. We paid for it, which was great, no problem. And we've all done it. And then we've done our 7 years courses. No, we are not going on strike. And I don't care what anybody thinks. And we all don't. We are going to work because we care about our patients, Petri. Simple as that.
Wow.
Don't like it, stuff it.
That's incredible. I mean, that takes a lot of strength to walk across a picket line, and to do it because you've got the love for your patients is extraordinary.
The fact is, my dad many years ago. I mean, he's not well. He's got leukemia, prostate cancer, because he worked for 34 years in chemicals and whatever, whatever. And no. We all refuse to do it. We don't care what people think. I'm sorry, but we don't. We've had enough. Okay, the pay's not great. Of course it isn't. And we do understand what is going on in this country. But no, we will not leave our our patients. Simple as that. And that's all I can say.
Debbie, you're extraordinary. That is amazing.
No, I'm not.
Well, you are.
No, we're not.
You are.
We just want to help people. And we're not angels. Of course, we have our bad days and we have arguments and, the usual.
Yeah, of course.
But no, it's wrong. It's wrong.
But I still think that's an extraordinary... That's what that's what I kind of expected nurses to be like, in all honesty, is that, that love and care and And I'm sure the other nurses love and care as well, but they're saying they need their money. But Debbie, that will absolutely warm the cockles of many a heart, I think.